Hey there, welcome to Pop Culture Cupid.
I'm Alison, love coach, here to help you single people find your way back to love.
And I'm Michal, I'm a single life coach. I help singles embrace themselves and their singleness, as well as develop a healthy self relationship.
In this podcast, we will look at how pop culture impacts romance, dating, and your love life.
And each week, we'll shoot another arrow through another pop culture delusion.
I thought we weren't going to do the whole cheesy thing.
And then burst into smithereens.
Oh my god, dude, that's so cringe!
Sorry, it's in the intro now.
If you make it through the chaos and you enjoy what you hear, please leave a comment, like, subscribe, and go to all the social media.
At Pop Culture Cupid on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. Enjoy!
Recording in progress. I keep trying to come up with interesting ways to mimic it, but I don't know if it's really.
There's this podcast that I listen to called Shagged, Married, Annoyed. I may have told you about it before.
Yeah, we've spoken about it.
So they've been going for 5 years, and it's one of the highest performing podcasts in the UK. And she starts off hi, you're listening to Shagged, Married, Annoyed. It's me, Rosie Ramsey, and my husband, Chris Ramsey. And then she just comes up with an insult. And come with a and he hasn't showered in 2 days, and so he starts a bit smelling, things like that.
It's a good way to get people to kind of break that, like it's I think it's a brilliant way to get people to just to grab their attention and to break their, you get into this trance when you're automatically listening to something or automatically walking from work to home, so you barely notice anything anymore. And so when you have that little thing that's like, wait, what? It gets you into it.
And I listen to them every week, and they're great. And quickly look up Chris Ramsey on your, everybody who's listening, because I'm not gonna put up a picture of him, but
Chris Ramsey, actor and comedian. There's quite a few Chris Ramseys, Canadian magician and YouTuber.
Yeah, so not him.
Okay, I think I see him. 37 years old. Oh, spouse Rosie Ramsey.
So that's him. He's kind of traditionally handsome, isn't he? I would find.
Yeah, he's cute.
And
why not?
They had this episode where they were talking about embarrassing crushes, and a lot of people say, apparently a lot of women say that their embarrassing crush is Chris Ramsey, and I'm like, that's so horrible.
In what way embarrassing crush?
Well, so
because he's an awkward guy, or because he's dorky, or because he's not the kind of guy that you would normally have a crush on, or because it's just awkward to have a crush on someone that you don't know?
No. So definitely not the last. I think the one of just like, he's not the normal type of guy people would have crushes on. I think traditionally, well, not traditionally, but like stereotypically, people have crushes on, Chris Evans, Jason Momoa, Brad Pitt, these types of.
Yeah.
And I think then you've got these like completely opposite types of crushes, which, some people might say that they had a crush on, I don't know, the guy who played Tyrion Lannister. And you watched Game of Thrones?
I have no idea who that is. I'm sorry.
You didn't watch Game of Thrones?
Oh God, no.
Oh my God, I didn't know this. Tyrion Lannister.
Please don't try to convince me.
I won't convince you, but it's surprising.
Everyone who's watched it, like, oh my God, you have to.
No, it took the world by storm. It's kind of like, it's when people say,
I know,
Harry Potter. I'm like, you haven't watched Harry Potter?
No, that is weird not to watch Harry Potter. Although I think it's weirder not to read the books, because the books are so much better than the movies. But I
agree. I agree. Harry Potter. Okay, so let's talk about Harry Potter. So an embarrassing crush on Harry Potter would be, I don't know, like Crabbe or Goyle.
Yes and no, because it really depends. Because I'm assuming this Chris Ramsey,
yeah,
is probably a good stand-up guy. He probably has a personality.
He's fantastic. He's fantastic. What I'm saying is an embarrassing crush, I think, falls under the thing.
Yeah,
like,
as opposed to with him.
Why would you kind of like that? Yeah, that is embarrassing. Like, you shouldn't be talking
I have no
about
idea why that's
maybe having also a crush on Severus Snape. So not Alan Rickman, who's an amazing actor and you know, was fantastic, but the character Severus Snape of just like portrayed by Alan Rickman. I
understand that. He's mysterious. He's like stern, and a lot of women find that appealing and mysterious, and we like the drama and the.
I agree, and I think that's kind of the limit of just like, he's not an amazing guy, but he has all of these things that can be traditionally appealing. And so anyway, and so these women have been coming out with, my embarrassing crush is Chris Ramsey, and I'm like, that's so harsh.
Why is that embarrassing?
He's handsome, he's funny, he obviously is a loving father and husband. Like, he's got, okay, he's not Chris Evans and like this muscular beefcake, but I wouldn't call him an embarrassing crush. And it got me thinking of just like, do I have any embarrassing crushes? I think he would definitely be a crush. Like, if he, I don't spend a lot of time having crushes on celebrities of just like fantasizing what my life would be with them. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah, no, neither do I. I think it's ridiculous because it's like, maybe because he looks like a dorky kind of, you know.
I
he doesn't
agree.
look like a man that you know, maybe because most people would go for someone like Brad Pitt and Ryan Reynolds or whatever, then they would, then that's why they're like embarrassed to say, oh, mine is actually Chris Ramsey, who's like, and a lot of people will go like, even who? So
yeah, maybe, but it's so harsh.
Yeah,
I'm trying, like, I'm trying to look at other there's this other comedian that kind of falls in that category, Jack Whitehall.
Oh yeah, now that I know who it is. But I have a story for you, which kind of segues into my own embarrassing crush about someone who's the. I used to work at this hotel, and there was a guy there who worked in the restaurant of the hotel, and we were good friends. We had a good vibe. He wasn't particularly handsome. He was like pretty scrawny, like kind of very thin, but he was such a sweet guy. Like, he was such a charismatic guy that all of the girls constantly had crushes on him, and he was constantly going out with like different girls. And this story is going to be sort of about an embarrassing crush of mine, and how my embarrassing crush actually saved me from going out with the wrong person or falling to the trap of this charming guy who everyone has, I guess, an embarrassing crush on, because he's not like the best looking. He's not, he's not fit or anything, but he's so charming. And he's like, a lot of times you see this, and I guess this is part of like the crush that they had on this Chris Ramsey guy, is that maybe he's not the best looking, maybe he's a bit dorky, maybe he's a bit scrawny, whatever it is, but he has such a personality that's just captivating. And we had vibes. I had vibes with this guy, and apparently he was going to even ask me out. But I had a super embarrassing crush on someone else who worked with me. My God. Who I was just constantly, my God, it was so like, I constantly like just went to talk to him. I was constantly like just trying to be around him. And he turned out to be gay. So that was fun.
Yeah, that's an embarrassing crush. I would agree on that.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and it was like, I didn't know that he was gay until like several months in, when another guy who slept with him came to work with us. So I'm like, okay. And in my head, I was like already planning on like, oh my God, what it would be like together. And I was like constantly trying to seek him out and talking to him and flirting with him. And he was, my God, I think he enjoyed every minute of it.
But is that
Like on the one hand,
is it embarrassing to have a crush on him, or was the crush the way you behaved embarrassing?
everything was just embarrassing, and everyone knew about it, which only made it even more embarrassing. And it was just, my God, it was because I couldn't shut up about him. I was constantly like seeking him out, and I was constantly flirting with him. And I never told him. He never, I don't know to this day if he knew, but he probably knew. And like on the
Yeah,
one hand, you can say he was sweet for, yeah, he probably knew. But like you can say he was sweet for not saying anything and playing it cool. But then why didn't you tell me that you were gay? I'm like,
Yeah.
what? You clearly knew that I was into you. And it was just like this whole, my God. But on the other hand, at least the other guy, the charming guy, didn't end up asking me out. Apparently he was going to, but he didn't end up doing it because he realized that I had a crush on him.
Oh,
And then that saved me from being another notch on his bedpost. Yes, yes. Thank you.
Oh,
Thank you very much.
Funny. I was kind of, how do you handle somebody having an embarrassing crush on you? Because if you've got an embarrassing crush, I think it's just, as you're putting it now, it's just, it's a crush. You're not head over heels in love. You get over it.
Yeah.
But if you feel somebody having a crush on you, like, I feel that a way that he could have kind of dealt with it was just to slip in the conversation somewhere that he's gay.
Yeah.
But
he was, yeah, no, he was constantly being evasive and weird, and like he was constantly even lying about his age, and